So I just washed my face and I'm going to start off with a primer. Since it's more wintry now in the US, I'm going to take my Napoleon Purtis. This is the Autopilot Primer. I've really been liking this, especially for even if I just put some under my eyes, just for a little bit of moisture. Because typically I do have oily skin, but for winter this has been working out pretty good for me, and I do really like it. Feels a lot more like a moisturizer, so I really like that for the winter months. Now I'm gonna grab one of my new brushes. I got a bunch of brushes from BH. They had a really nice face set on sale for like $16, so they had a bunch of brushes, I think 5 that were this size and then 5 that were like this size, and they're all kind of like that dual fiber synthetic type. So I'm thinking of doing a review on them because they are really nice, and I think even full price they're only like $30. But I'm gonna take this kind of round top angled one, and that's brand new, and I haven't tried it out yet. There's some flat top kabuki styles also that I've tried, and I do really like those. So I'm gonna use my L'Oreal True Match, and this is in W1-2 because I'm like super pale. It's just gonna be one of those days, isn't it? I had my hoodie. I wanted to wear this to school today. Oh well, that's what I get for being reckless. So I'm just going to buff that in. This is a really good color match for me, even though I'm totally washed out right now on camera. And this brush is really nice. I like when foundation brushes aren't too stiff. This one's really nice and flexible, so it's not like really poking into my skin or anything. I'm gonna try to. This is a really casual video. Let's just get that out of the way. Okay, now my base is done. I really like this brush. It doesn't really have a name on it since it wasn't a kit, it's just from BH Cosmetics, but I'll try to put a link below maybe to where I got them, and then do make sure you're subscribed so that you can check out when I post a review on these babies. So now I think I'm just gonna jump right to the eyes. I want to do something Thanksgiving inspired, so kind of just go along with the warm brown tones that I kind of always use. But I want to make it a little festive. So I'm going to take my NYX HD primer. It's like $5. I love this thing, and it's just as good as the Urban Decay one. Now I'm going to take a little bit of my Tarte CC primer, if I can get it open. I just like this because it does have a little bit of coverage, so I put this by the inner corner and where my brow is, where it's not going to be fully covered by eyeshadow, and it just makes it look a little bit more polished. So I think I want to use some of my single eyeshadows from my Z palette and maybe this e.l.f. baked eyeshadow. I just want to stick with like warm orangey tones, so I think I'm actually going to just start with this actual blush right here. This is by Makeup Geek, and this is called Smitten. It's kind of a really, not too bright, but it's like a soft peach blush. But I'm just going to take a large fluffy e.l.f. brush. This is actually the Flawless Concealer brush, and I'm just kind of almost using this as a packing brush, and I'm just patting it over the lid, and then I'm going to blend it into the crease. I feel like I keep doing the same looks over and over, so I want to just change it up a little bit. And I do recommend doing this step if you're a beginner. Always just start with a really light shade. Honestly, if you wanted to do a two-step look, all you'd have to do is kind of do exactly what I did here, and then just take a brush a little bit smaller, take a deeper shade, and just put it in the crease and the outer V, and boom, you're done. You just got a two-step look right there. Easy peasy. Now I'm going to take a little bit of this color here. This is from the Kat Von D Monarch palette, and I believe this is called Deadhead. I can't really tell because on the back it doesn't really say which way it is, but it doesn't really matter anyways, I guess. So I'm going to take a little bit of a smaller brush, and I just want a little bit of this because this is super intense, but I just want to deepen up that crease just a little bit because I am going to school today. But you know what? I don't even care what my makeup looks like at school. I'm honestly going to wear like this hoodie, and I'm wearing sweats right now, and I'm going to have some nice ass Thanksgiving makeup, so that's just how I roll apparently. Alright, and now I'm going to take a little bit of this shade here. Oh, this is, as I like it everywhere, this is Medieval Gold by Coastal Scents. This is a super cheap eyeshadow, but I just want to like show you how pigmented it is. And I really like the texture of it. It's almost like a really creamy texture, but it's really long wearing and extremely pigmented. I definitely recommend trying these out, and I really want to get some more because sometimes it's really hard to find a good shimmery eyeshadow that's really pigmented. I don't know why, but really nice one. So I'm going to take that just on the same brush I just took, and I'm just going to kind of place it in the outer corner, and then just whatever the remainder is, I'm just going to sweep into the crease and then over the lid just so it gives a little bit of a shimmer. And you can see how pretty that turns out to be. This color is really good if you have green eyes or blue eyes. I wore a color recently like this to the DMV because I had to go renew my driver's license because I just turned 21. And you know how they ask you like your height and your eye color and everything, and I know I have blue eyes. Like they're like blue-gray. But I was wearing a really nice shadow look that had like smoky brown colors, and the woman was like, "You have green eyes," and I was like, "No, I have blue eyes." But you know, colors really can play up your eye color. It's not your eye color changing, it's just the reflection and comparison of different colors that you put next to your eye that can make them pop different ways. So it was nice. I like green eyes, but I was like, no, I have blue eyes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a tiny bit of concealer. I'm going to use my Maybelline Fit Concealer. This is in 10 Light. It's the wrong shade, but it's a little bit more yellow, so it's nice to cancel out my purple undertones. So if you have a concealer that you're kind of using as a corrector, just put a tiny bit and it'll blend in just fine. And what I'm going to use to blend that out is one of those brushes I was telling you about earlier. And again, it doesn't have a name, but it's kind of like a little flat top kabuki, just a mini one. And I'm just gonna help blend that out. And I'm really excited to have these brushes, so when I'm doing other people's makeup, I don't have to like touch their face when I'm putting on eyeshadow primer, or you know, when you're doing that under eye area, it can be a lot gentler, and these brushes are just so soft. You won't be making anyone feel uncomfortable when you're working in that under eye area, because I know I hate this area. It's really annoying, but because then you get stuff in your eye and it's just not fun sometimes, but these are going to be a lifesaver when it comes to that. And then just to further blend that in, I just go on with my foundation brush, and I don't sweep, I just pat it in so that there's no spots where there's clumped up product or anything, and it's all just really smooth. And my concealer will literally last all day. I love the Maybelline concealer because it doesn't crease, and all I do is I set it either with some sort of powder, or I'll use my e.l.f. HD translucent powder, which is nice. Just has a little bit of shimmer, but I honestly don't care about stuff like that. So now, since I'm just doing whatever this morning, I feel like jumping back to the face. Sometimes I like doing that so that when I finish the under eye part, I kind of know how heavy to go or how light to go. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take a little bit of Hoola bronzer, and I'm taking a really nice powder brush. I realized I was using like a smaller brush for my bronzer, and I would notice either in photos of me or like from far away, or I'd catch myself in the mirror or something, that my contour, or just bronzer, I don't really like contour, but that my bronzer was looking like really heavy. So I was like, I need to get a powder brush. So I ended up purchasing, if you saw it in my ULTA haul, that I got this Equal Tools large powder brush, and then I also got a Real Techniques powder brush, or it's a blush brush I think, but I'm just going to use it for powder once I open it. But I'm testing out this one and I really like it. For some reason I didn't think I would like Equal Tools as much, and I have a pencil brush that I've had for a long time and I like that, but for some reason I just didn't think their larger brushes would be as good, and I think it's because they were in the plastic packaging and I saw that they were all like squished, so I thought that they would stay like that, but they do fluff up really nicely, and I love this brush, and it's changed my face because I don't have any more harshness anymore. So all I'm gonna do is just tap it, swirl it around like pretty good in here, because it's hard to get product because it's on pan, but then I like tap it off really well, and then I'll just like gently dust it where the sun would hit, so it looks natural. And you probably can't really tell right now because the camera's the daylight is really washing me out, but if you looked at like this side of my face, it has a little bit more definition opposed to like this side. I guess you can't tell too much, but it just warms up your face even if you're not giving any definition. It just makes you a little bit more alive, and I know I need that. And then what I also like to do is I'll take another bronzer, because I don't really like this one anymore. Honestly, it's not warm enough for my skin tone because I have a yellow undertone, so I need something to warm it up a little bit. And so what I've been liking doing is taking one of my warmer bronzers, either NYX matte bronzer is a good one, or the NYC Sunny bronzer, or you could even take this blush too and just dust it all over to warm up. But I like to take that and just kind of layer it, and you can see that's a really nice warm color, and I'll just go over anywhere the sun would hit, because it looks a lot more natural. I feel like it looks a little more youthful than doing a really like harsh contour, and I don't know. I don't really want to change how my face looks. I don't want to make it look like my nose got plastic surgery, or like I have like crazy cheekbones, because I mean I like how I am, so I don't want to, you know, change how my face looks, and then one day when I don't wear makeup people are like, you look different. You know how that is. But anyways, so love this brush. I really like that brush. I didn't think I would like it. So now that my face is pretty much done, I'm gonna wait for a blush until I do the eyes. I know I'm just like all over the place, but I'm gonna take a really nice domed brush. It's really small and stubby. This is by Coastal Scents, and I'm gonna start again with this blush, I think, just so it's softer. I want to keep it really soft, you know, family friendly for family parties. We're not going clubbing on Thanksgiving. I mean, unless you are, then that's cool. I'm just gonna use that as kind of like my transition shade, and I'm also gonna use it to gently blend out that edge that I cleaned up, just so it's not so harsh. And then I'm just going to take actually a little bit, if I can get it out, of Frappe. This is by Makeup Geek. It's just a nice warm brown, and I'm just gonna dot it right on the tip. And I freaked out. I thought for a second I wasn't recording. And I'm just going to put it in the outer third because I don't want this to be too harsh. But I do want a little bit of color showing, so I'm going to go back in. Oh, I keep dropping this thing. With Medieval Gold by Coastal Scents. And I'm just going to get just the tip in there and just put that right on the outer corner, because this shows up actually really nicely on the lower lash line as a pop of metallic. That's what it's really metallic. It's really nice. Okay, so I just did my eyebrows. I feel like that's extremely boring to watch, so I skipped right through that. I'm gonna take off the foundation from my lips, and I think I'm gonna do blush. So I really want to use, let's see here, I really want to use this one from Clinique. I really like it, and this one is in Precious Posy. And I do want to mention, because I do have also NARS Deep Throat, and they're real similar. And I want to say, I think this one is $35. Is this one $35 or $40? And this one's like $21. I want to say they're really similar, very similar in color. And I would recommend the Clinique one just because it's cheaper. It's just as good. The colors are really similar. There's like a little swatchy swatch. I think if anyone, any of the Clinique one's a little bit more pigmented, and also when you dip your brush in it, it does kick up a tiny bit of powder, but that's really the only difference between the two. So I honestly would recommend getting the Clinique one and save your money on the NARS one. So I'm just going to take my Coastal Scents, this is just like the angled face brush or something like that, and I'm just, how I avoid kicking up the powder is I'll just like press it in, and you could see there's like no powder kicked up on there. But it's really pretty color, and it's not too shimmery, but I feel like it gives a better sheen than the NARS one does, and I was actually looking to have a nice sheen, not like glitter, but to be like a highlighting kind of blush. But this one does a better job, and I honestly like the packaging a lot better. I think it's really pretty, and it comes with a nice brush that's actually really soft and really nice. And if you're traveling, you really could use it. And I just really like the Clinique one. I don't know why no one ever talks about Clinique stuff, but I'm gonna tap it off really well and just make those cheeks. And brush it on. I don't want it to be like super intense, but I want to do a tiny bit of a kohl liner, and I wanted to add a little pop of purple in here somehow, but I didn't know how. So I'm going to use my Avon Super Shock liner in Plumful, and all I'm going to do is just put a little line on the outer corner of my eye, and then I'm going to take that domed brush again. I'm just going to wipe it off, and I'm just going to smoke that out a little bit. And these set, and they're waterproof, so they're not going to go anywhere. And then just kind of build it up to how much you want. And then you can see that just adds a nice amount of definition without being too over the top with some heavy black winged liner, excuse me. So now that we're almost done, I'm going to do some mascara, and I want to mention this Buxom mascara. This is just a little sample size I get from Sephora. I actually really like these because, honestly, like, having a full-size mascara, like, I get these little samples. This is only going to last 3 months, and if you're supposed to throw out your mascara in 3 months, then this is the perfect size. So it's like, can I always have sample mascaras? But, I also got one from Makeup Forever. I'm just going to show you this really quick too. But, I mean, it's okay. It has like the weirdest brush, and it's really big, so I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of like Makeup Forever. I feel like they're just really expensive for no reason. But I really have been liking this Buxom one. I don't know how much this one is, but the brush is really cool. I like, you probably won't be able to see, but instead of just having those little spike tips, the spike tips have like a blunt edge, or they have like a little ball at the end, so if you do accidentally poke your eye, it's not like sharp, it's just like a little sphere at the end. So I really like this, and it does give really nice length and volume. I really like that mascara. I've never tried anything from Buxom. I want to find out more about the company and see like how their ingredients are and like if they're cruelty free or not, but I honestly, I'll probably keep trying this out, but I really like it. It's really black, but it's a soft mascara, so even though it's gonna like hold your lashes in place, it's very soft feeling, and it's not too hard to wash off. That's another thing. I really like the Calvin Klein mascara, but I don't reach for it because it's so hard to get off. It's not waterproof, but I just like it to be easy to get mascara off. So now just to finish up, I think I'm going to do a lip liner, just because I feel like that always dresses kind of a look up when you do a lip liner and a nice lipstick. So I'm using Jordana's Easy Liner. It's just a lip liner in Tawny. And I'm just going to line my lips. Wow, wasn't even showing you. Blending it in. This little sample of Makeup Forever lipstick, this is in 6N. I just thought it would be a nice, I don't know, it reminded me of like turkey feathers. I don't know, it's weird. And I'm just gonna apply that. It smells bad. It's really moisturizing and it's a nice color. If that's a little deep for you, just blot it off a little bit. And that's about it. All I'm going to do is take a little bit of a highlighter. I've really been enjoying my Stila highlighter Duo and Kitten, but also I want to mention this Tarte highlighter. It's really, really nice. I don't know if you can get this palette anymore, but that's the highlighter there, and it's really pretty. And then you are all set. So hopefully you enjoyed this Thanksgiving look. Try it out. It's not too hard to do and it doesn't take too long. I've only been doing this for about 20 minutes. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Give me a thumbs up if you do, and don't forget to subscribe. And I will have a bunch of stuff listed in the down bar, so be sure to check that out. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.